Hi friends, welcome to today's yoga flow for stability. We are going to be exploring unilateral asanas to help us strengthen the body as well as improve our posture and alignment. When you're ready, afford yourself a moment to get comfortable. Perhaps joining me in Vrksasana diamond pose or assuming a cross-legged position as we come into a seated cat-cow. Mobilizing the spinal column. Inhale, scoop the chest forwards, gaze up. Exhale, curl and round, engage the core. And again, moving with fluidity. Noticing the breath. Noticing any sensations you might be experiencing. And from here, we'll interlace our fingers behind our back, gaze up, extend the arms, and guide the bind round to the left side of your waist, lowering the right ear to right shoulder and creating some half moon circles, once in either direction. Re-extending the arms and guiding the bind round to the right, left ear to left shoulder. Again, finding those half circles. Re-extend the arms once more, broaden across the heart space, and release. From here, we will come into a tabletop position on all fours. Wrists are underneath shoulders, knees are hip-width distance apart, and we'll begin to create some circular movements, guiding the hips towards the heels, bringing the shoulders over the wrists, finding any organic movement that feels nourishing for you. Perhaps swapping the direction. Beginning to slow down the movement, and we'll meet in tabletop position. Coming into a traditional cat-cow. Inhale, drop the belly, gaze up. Exhale, spinal flexion. Inhale, extension. One more round of cat and cow. Meeting in a tabletop position. From here, tucking the toes under, pressing into the palms, engaging the core, keeping a neutral spine, and we'll hover the knees off the ground. Lower down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Once more, this time we'll stay up and hold. Knitting the ribs, imagining as though you can draw the navel to the spine. Find length along the back of the neck. Raise the left palm, tap the right shoulder, lower it down, tap the left shoulder with the right palm. Moving with control, doing your best to keep the body stable and keep the hips level. This is an intention. Returning both palms to the earth, keeping both knees hovered for a moment. Walking the arms out in front and extending the legs as we push back into our first downward dog. Perhaps pedaling out the dog. Finding a beautiful release in the outer hips. Maybe guiding the heels towards the earth. And really pressing into the index fingers and the thumbs to help support the wrists, the forearms. Creating space between the shoulders and the earlobes. Ribs are soft. Gaze is between the feet. Breathe. Raising the heels, we'll begin to walk our feet towards the hands, coming into a forward fold. Perhaps bending the knees considerably, or you might like to straighten the legs, it's up to you. On your next inhale, we'll come into a halfway lift, straightening the legs flat back. Exhale, fold. Twice more. Perhaps placing the palms on the shins or resting the fingertips on the earth. Keeping the knees bent, we'll roll up into mountain pose, one vertebra at a time. Inhale, extend the arms overhead. Exhale, float the arms down by your side. Reconnecting with the breath in Tadasana. And from here, we'll come into Vrksasana tree pose. Grounding down through the right leg, externally rotating the left hip, maybe placing the sole of the foot against the ankle, the calf muscle, or guiding your left foot to the inner seam of the right thigh, maybe joining the palms together at heart center, or extending the arms overhead. Engaging the core here, a slight tuck of the pelvis so that we're not arching into the spine. If your tree begins to sway in the wind, know that that's okay. Firmly ground down through your foot, root your foot down into the earth to help support you. Finding a steady point of focus. One more breath. Keeping the leg raised, we'll come into Tada Kapotasana, standing pigeon, creating a figure 4 as we place the blade edge of that left foot on top of the right thigh. Sinking the hips back as though you were sitting in a chair, maybe keeping your arms in Namaskar Mudra, or it might feel nice to stack one forearm on top of the other. This can often help you keep your torso more elevated. One more breath. Inhale, release. Return the left foot down, affording yourself a moment to reconnect with the breath, find your equilibrium, and we'll take tree pose on the other side. If possible, finding the same variation that you took on the first side. Notice if the chest begins to puff up. Can you soften the ribs, soften the abdominals? Find ease in this posture. Allow the breath to guide you into a space of tranquility. Mindfully join the palms together at heart center and coming into standing pigeon. Again, it's okay if you wobble around. This is a practice. The more often you show up, the easier it will feel, the more natural it will become. Remember to have fun. Inhale, release. Well done. From here, we'll transition into Warrior 3, grounding down through the right leg, joining the palms together at heart center, flexing the left knee, raising it to hip height, hinging the torso forwards as you guide that left leg back, creating a straight line between the crown of the head, the shoulders, the hips, the knees, and the toes. Doing your best to keep the right leg straight. Hips are squared to the earth, maybe extending the arms out in front, really challenging your balance and your core strength here. Extending the arms out wide like bird wings, and maybe interlacing your fingers behind your back, broadening the heart space, and gently guiding yourself upright to a standing position. Well done. One breath in Tadasana, and we'll go on the other side. Ensuring that you have a stable foundation. When you're ready, bending the right knee, palms to chest, hinging forwards, extending that right leg back, using the strength of your glutes and the hamstrings on the right hand side to lift that leg, whilst using the quadriceps to help straighten behind the knee. Maybe extending the arms forwards, arms out wide like bird wings, and interlacing your fingers behind your back, coming upright to Tadasana. Well done. Offering yourself a moment in mountain pose, and we'll set up for our final posture of this balancing series, bird of paradise, coming into a forward fold, halfway lift. Straightening the right leg, bending the left leg, raising up onto the ball of the foot as we guide our left arm underneath the left leg, binding at the fingers or maybe grabbing a hold of the wrists. The closer you can get your knee towards your shoulder, the easier it's going to be to lift this leg, coming up into a standing position, opening the chest. When you feel stable, maybe extending that left leg, using hamstring strength, hip flexor strength to keep that leg lifted. If you're wobbling around, that is okay. And gently lower down with control. Coming into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And rolling up to Tadasana. Well done. We'll take this posture on the other side. Coming into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. This time keeping the left leg extended, bending the right leg, finding that bind, doing your best to keep the knee on top of that right shoulder, and beginning to slowly guide the torso upwards. If you need to take a moment to reconnect with your sense of balance, know that that is okay. And when you're ready, extending the right leg, using hamstring strength, using hip flexor strength. Doing your best to lower down with control and mindfully release, coming into a halfway lift and rolling up into Tadasana. Well done, friends. Thank you so much for joining this stability yoga class. I hope you had fun. Remember that the more often you return to these practices, the easier it is going to become. Thank you all so much for today. Namaste.